Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am finally sharing with you guys today the Sappho New Paradigm collection. I've been trying this for quite some time, well at least most of it, and I've been meaning to bring this to you for well over a month now. You just know. I'm gonna do a chatty get ready with me after this video talking about my new hair color. Yep, I dyed my hair. We'll get into that. And just what's been going on with me, but today it's all about Sappho, and I love Sappho. I really do. I'm so happy that they have expanded the line, given us more fun things to play with, and today I'm going to give you a play-by-play of every product in the line for the most part. I think I have just about everything. So let's just get right in with the bases. First up though is a primer. They do have a primer for dry to normal skin, and then they do have a primer for normal to oily skin, I believe. Today I'm going to use the one for dry skin. This I haven't used a ton just because primer, I'm bad about applying primer most days, but the couple times I have used it I really liked it. The texture of it is like a moisturizer, so that's very nice. Has a relatively faint scent to it, but it is a little bit fragranced, it smells like. Yeah, and the texture, it starts off like a moisturizer, but the more you rub it in, you can almost feel like that sort of primer texture, like makeup is going to stick to it. It's not super sticky, but it has a little bit of tack to it. I really like that in a primer. Personally, this isn't going to do anything crazy to fill in your pores, anything like that. And then for other base products, we have three. So first up, we have the Sappho New Paradigm CC Cream. I have this in the shade medium. I was using this when I had a tan for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I loved it. It is very much a sheer to a light coverage. Now the color is much too dark for me, and it is like this whipped, it's like this whipped consistency, if you guys can see that. Blends like a dream and evens everything out while still letting it look like your skin, and that is why I used it so much, especially since it's getting hot. And this has that same dry down that the primer does. It starts working in and then it dries down to a beautiful, just natural skin-like finish. So I love it. And then we have the Sappho Essentials Foundation, again in the shade Lisa. If you know me at all, you know I used to really be ride or die for the Sappho foundation, but it has gone under reformulation, and I will speak to that in just a moment. But then I also have the Sappho New Paradigm Foundation. This is also in the shade 6. This one, unfortunately, I have not had the chance to try that much. I've tried this one once. This coverage does seem relatively sheer though as well. I don't remember being obsessed with it when I used it, but I do think that it is nice. Okay, so let me quickly speak as to what's up with the foundations. The New Paradigm is a new formulation completely. The CC Cream is as well. But as far as the Essentials Foundation, this was formulated to replace the old foundation that I personally really loved that now has coconut oil in it. The foundation was over 10 years old as far as the formulation was, so some ingredients came under question, how they could change and things like that. So they tried to remake the formulation without this emulsifier that was in it, and the color started to oxidize and it just became really complicated. But they are trying to work out a way to remove the coconut oil from this foundation, so just keep your eyes peeled on that. I do think the formulation is really close, so I think it's exactly the same. I don't. I miss my old Sappho, but today I'm going to demonstrate this one on my face for you. So they both have really beautiful, nice pumps. I am in the shade Lisa. This shade Lisa is a little bit darker than the old foundation. Like she said, she was having some issues with oxidizing, I can tell. So I'm gonna do a pump of the Paradigm foundation because that is more like the true Lisa color. And my Paradigm foundation is in the shade number 6. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix that. And I'm going to blend this into the skin with the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. This foundation is like a light medium. It builds up really pretty, and one thin layer of it, like I'm applying right now, will even out the complexion. You can see the redness towards the middle of my face is dissipating. So I went in and applied a little bit more just to the center of my face, so I wouldn't need as much concealer. But you can see this is a true skin-like finish. It's satin. I wouldn't say it's quite matte, but it definitely has no sheen to it whatsoever. This sort of coverage is my dream for every day, and I'm actually obsessed with the combination of the two. I think I am going to start mixing that on a more regular basis, but look at how easily it blended out. My skin's looking pretty flawless. Now let me zoom you out so we can move on to concealer. Okay, moving on to concealer. The Sappho concealer comes in a little jar, just like this. It's sort of one of my favorite ways to apply concealer. I just think it's super easy. And I am in the shade Light. Now this is definitely not my favorite thing from the collection, but I will show you guys exactly how it looks under my eyes. I am very hyper picky with how my under eyes look because it's very easy for it to settle in the fine lines under my eyes for me. But I do think the consistency of it is great. I do really like it for adding additional coverage to where I give it red. I always do this even if the redness isn't peeking through immediately because I want it to act as an extra barrier. So I love to apply this with my finger and use the warmth from that. I think that is the best way. I don't think this formulation is great for using a beauty blender with, in my opinion, but always try and see what you like. But today I'm just gonna show you guys what the coverage looks like. I'm gonna do it just on one of my eyes. You can see I do suffer with quite a bit of dark circles. That is just from lack of sleep and genetics. All right, so you can see the difference. It definitely did a pretty nice job at covering. It's not as full coverage as something like the Hint Beauty, but it is really quite full coverage. What I think that this is the best for is throwing in the purse and touching up, or like I said, concealing redness around the nose. It sits really nicely, especially if you have dry skin. It doesn't cling whatsoever. And you can see in comparison to my foundation that it's sort of like the perfect highlight shade, especially when I balance out the rest of my face. You'll really be able to notice that. So let's move on to face powder. I'm going to be using this in a more unconventional way. This pressed powder comes with 12 ounces or 3.5 grams. So decent sized pan. I wish it was a little bit bigger since it's meant to set the entire face. But what I will say, the coverage and the texture of this is super silky and nice. Again, this is in the shade medium, so it's a little bit too dark for me, but I'm gonna MacGyver this to use like a bronzer today. If you find a pressed powder formulation that you really like, a nice trick is to just buy a deeper shade, and then you know you're gonna like it like a bronzer. So today's gonna be a really natural bronze look, but it will still add some dimension to the face, and I'm just gonna use a little bit of a heavier hand. I would love to get my actual shade in this powder because I think it would be amazing. It doesn't settle on the foundation at all. It's not patchy, which is like bronzer. It's really tricky to make it not look patchy. I'm just using my Afterglow Cosmetics brush, and I am going to chisel out the jaw as well. And it does have a nice amount of coverage. I don't think you can wear it like a powder foundation, but to set the makeup with a little bit of color, this is an amazing option. So now that I have some color on my face, let's go in with a bit of highlighter. This is one of my favorite drops from the entire Paradigm line. If you guys have seen my monthly favorites videos, I have mentioned this before I even got around to making this video. This again comes in different shades, and this is in the shade medium. Usually I probably would not pick the shade medium for myself, but I actually love this. Again, it's in a nice glass jar, and it is the most beautiful, just champagne, natural, but yet blinding shade, and apply this right to the high points of the face. The tone of this is very natural if you have something like my skin tone, so you just probably go up to a tan skin, or if you wanted more of a contrast, I would do light. And then I don't know if they have a deep shade, but I'll have more information on it down below. I just know that the formulation is to die for. Moving on to blush. I have two blush shades to share with you guys today, both equally beautiful and I think very unique shades as well. They are powder blushes. It looks like that these have 4 grams, so this even has a little bit more than the powder, it looks like. And first up I have the shade Emma's Blush, and Emma's Blush is just this really pretty purpley mauve. It reminds me of Root Cassandra, but a little bit lighter. So maybe a little bit more wearable for some of you that look fabulous on an olive medium toned skin. And then I have Andrea's Blush, which is this more terracotta deep shade. This one's a little bit harder for me to pull off, but I love that shade right there. And these are such a genius formulation because you know my issue with blush is that you often can look over blushed, and I hate that. So there's a very fine line between a blush being not pigmented and you have to dig your pan in there, and then there's a difference between a blush being the perfect amount of pigment where you can build it up if necessary, but also have a very natural finish if you desire as well. So I'm just gonna go in with my Luxie 504 brush. This is the large angle. It's my favorite blush brush ever. Typically, I wouldn't apply this over the highlighter because I don't want it to cling, so just keep that in mind, but I forgot. So I'm just gonna go with a very light hand of this. And it just gives the perfect amount of color off the bat. And then I could just go in and add a little bit more. I think this would look great up to a tan, relatively deep complexion. It is just the most beautiful, summery, I've just got a tan shade. All right, so let's keep it moving. They do also have a setting powder that's just like a translucent powder rather than the colored pressed powder. It's just called the Silky Setting Powder. And this has 10 grams of product. It isn't quite a tiny jar, but if it's actually 10 grams, that is a decent amount. And I have used it a couple of times. Is it a life-changing silky powder? No. Is it a nice silky powder? Yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take my Real Techniques Duo Fiber Contour brush, but I think this is the ultimate setting brush. And since I did take a little bit of that concealer on my eyelid, I'm gonna just tap the lid. Gonna go back in for a tiny bit more. And I'm also going to put wherever I did concealer. So I'm gonna do it here. Moving on to a product where I actually haven't used it because I've been nervous, but I'm gonna use it on camera with you guys. I don't really love brow pomades, even though I did have a brief stint with the Eco Brow for a while and I did like it. They do have their own brow pomade, and this is in the shade Brown Black. So I actually like this color. I wouldn't quite say it's brown black. It looks like a pretty true brown, but it looks pretty warm, and my hair's pretty warm right now. So I will let you guys know. For me right now, that would be a good thing, but for the color brown black, that's not a good thing. All right, so the color of this is a little bit warm. It's not super warm, but it definitely pulls a little bit red. I could tell in the front of my eyebrows, so just something to be wary of. It's not so incredibly warm, but I do think that like something like the Hint Beauty is a little bit better of a shade range as far as the tones. So, but the way it looks, I actually quite like. The real test is gonna be how does this wear throughout the day. So I think my eyebrows look pretty good, especially given my hair color. They're very bold, that's for sure, but we are rolling with it for today. Now let's move into eyeshadows very quickly. I do have 4 here to play with, and I will swatch for you so you can sort of see the color and the texture. First up, I have the shade Beckett, which is like the most beautiful warm brown. I love that shade. Then I have Minaz, which is this amazing gold color. I don't know if you guys remember, this was so long ago. I think I wore it in an empties video. I did a halo smoky eye and I had this gold in the center of my lid. I always meant to do a tutorial, but that was this shade and it's gorgeous and I love it. Then we have the shade Jono, which is just the most true chocolatey, deep, dark, beautiful brown. And then I do also have the shade Chloe, which is this sort of grayish, greenish, taupe-ish, really interesting, unique color. So to deepen that up, I'm going to go in with Beckett. I'm going to take the same exact brush, the Delium Tool 765, and I'm going to just run that through the crease. So I've been looking. Now I'm going to go in with what is that called? Minaz, and I'm going to use that with a Terry Miyahira number 12 brush. I love the Terry Miyahira brushes, by the way, as a side note. They are available for individual purchase now, so I will have that link down below too. So I'm just gonna load that up on here. Actually, yeah, I like this applied better with the finger. It's that sort of texture where it's beautiful, but it can build up on itself. So it just, I don't know why, the oil from your fingers just apply it a little bit more intensely, and that's definitely how I prefer it. And to finish this look off, I'm gonna go in with Jono. I do think I'm gonna do a slight sort of halo with this, but nothing crazy. I'm just gonna add the dark shadow here. Okay, let's move on to something exciting. It's another product that I have not tried. I don't really know why. I think I just sort of forgot about this one. I had it again in a separate drawer. And as you can see, I'm curling my lashes. So it is the mascara, the new Paradigm mascara. This mascara has a a plastic wand that looks a little something like this. Very sort of standard wand, reminding me a little bit of the Well People, but it also looks very precise. So we'll see if I can coat all my lashes, makes them black, makes them long. I have high hopes. Hey, I brought you guys in up nice and personal, so I mean, you can see all the makeup on my face. That doesn't hurt. But mostly so we can get a good glimpse at this mascara. So let's give it a go. Let's see. Smells like mascara. Okay, I do think it's gripping every lash. Looks so far pretty good at length. We'll see how it builds up on itself because I'm not loving it for volume. So that's just one coat on the top. You can see length is really nice. Volume just isn't the best. So like I said, we're gonna work on building this up. Okay, so final verdict is it builds on itself beautifully. Probably the best lengthening mascara, I think I'm gonna say it, I've ever used. Like, look at my eyelashes. Look at that one. Like, that's insane. And it's nice and black. Does it give the best volume? No, but maybe if we mix it with another mascara, that would be really nice. I do think this would also be nice to go on top of a mascara that's clumpy because that really bristly brush separates all the lashes. So the real test is going to be, but how does this wear throughout the day? Is it flaky? Does it smudge? We will find that out. All right, and I'm going to finish up the makeup look today with some glosses. I have two shades. I have the shade Hazy Dew and I also have the shade Rita. Hazy Dew is this really beautiful baby pink shade, but very wearable, a little bit more cool tones. And then Rita is this more mid-tone pink gloss. Today I'm gonna go with Rita, so just so I can wear it on its own. These are full-on like lip paints, so they don't last a long time. But look how insanely pigmented that is. It's like a liquid lipstick, but not matte. Alright you guys, that's it. This is my makeup look for right now. I am going to go grab something to eat and then I will be at work all night. So I will probably do one check-in at work and then I will check in again at the end of the day. Back with my backdrop. Obviously the lighting's not going to be as nice because it's going to be nighttime, but I will give you guys my final thoughts on the entire range and as well as see how the product wore throughout the day, which is very, very important. So I will see you guys in just a little bit. Hi you guys. Sorry, I'm a little zoomed in. Whoa, zooming in even more. I just pulled into work, but I quickly wanted to show you guys what the makeup looks like in the natural light. Very telling, and I think it looks fabulous. I've had it on for about an hour now. Haven't had it, let me just pull down my mirror so I could see a little bit better so I'm not staring into the viewfinder. I haven't had any transferring as far as the mascara. There is a little flake right there, but nothing crazy. I will be at work until probably 9:30ish tonight and it is currently 4:45. So I will do another check-in in a little bit, but I wanted you guys to see how good it looks. Especially the skin and that blush I am obsessed with. But I'm talking even faster than normal because I'm late. Hey guys, this is my glamorous check-in with the loud noise, the mop bucket, the toilet paper. Yeah, that's right, I'm in the work bathroom. I'm like holding my phone like an idiot. So it's been like 4 hours now. Let's flip the camera around on me. Hi. I'm in possibly the worst lighting ever. This is like you're a prisoner and I feel like a prisoner when I'm at work, but I'm gonna get a close-up in the mirror. The makeup is still holding up amazing. My under eyes definitely need more coverage. I think it's wearing off ever so slightly just in the inner corners here. I'm not loving the way it looks, but I told you guys from the beginning, it's definite, especially when I'm looking up, it makes it look even darker. It's not my favorite under eye concealer in the world. You can see it like that. I need more coverage like right in here. But guys, the mascara is holding up amazing. I'm really actually digging this mascara. Like I said, I wish it had more volume, but I'm eager to try it in combination with something else. Skin looks great. I love that I added the extra concealer because my redness isn't breaking through. I did get a little bit on my chin. Then the lip product is of course worn off. I'm actually going to reapply that. Like look at that. No creases at all, and that's using the powder and the concealer to act as a primer. So that's pretty good. I think they ever so slightly lost their vibrancy, but nothing too bad. So that is it for this check-in. And I'll catch you guys in a much more glamorous setting next time. Peace from the toilet. Hi everyone, here I am with my final check-in. I don't know why this light on this side of me is so bright, but it's all good. The lighting leaves much to be desired because it is 10 o'clock at night. So I've had this on since 3:30, 3:45. So we almost got the full 8-hour day in there. We got quite a few hours of wear in there. I was at work all day, running around, got some lunch, things like that. So this is what the makeup is looking like. You can see that the blush is definitely dissipated, but there is a little bit there. Highlight is going strong, looks beautiful. Eyeshadows are ever so slightly faded, but still looks really beautiful. I'm not mad at how it looks. My little experiment with the eyeliner that was in my eyebrows, that didn't really hold up. It did sort of hold up in my waterline though, which is interesting, but not as much on the upper lid. That sort of faded. The skin, however, looks gorgeous. Here and here, I usually get very red throughout the day. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's just a drier area of my skin that like tends to like, or a little bit more oily area of my skin. Eyebrows are looking amazing. They haven't smeared all day. In general, I'm so happy with this. The thing I'm least happy with is how my under eyes look, but blush and my under eyes are sort of the things that are a little bit harder for me to tackle. The mascara held up great, didn't transfer at all. Mind you, I did set my under eye area, so always make sure that you're doing that. That's a determining factor. So overall, I think it's safe to say Sappho is a beautiful line across the board, but let's quickly run through some of my favorite products. So, if it didn't have coconut oil in it, I would use this on an every single day basis. I love the mixture of the Essentials foundation with the new Paradigm foundation. If you're not sensitive to coconut oil, highly recommend checking that out. I could live without the brow product and the concealer. They are still wonderful though. So if you think you have a skin type that would be a little bit more suited towards these two things, go crazy. I do think that the eyebrow color actually settled a little bit. I think it's sort of oxidized and doesn't look warm at all. So this is a really nice pomade option that is nice and stiff. So you can really, I think, work and draw in the brow hairs if you have slim brow hairs. All of the face powders are beautiful, but I really love that Andrea's blush. I really think I'm going to pull that out and wear it a little bit more often. And I do want to try my skin color in the face setting powder because I think it's great. I could definitely live without the silky setting powder. I already spoke to this. I think it's nice. I just don't think it's anything to write home about. Eyeshadows, however, I think are fabulous, specifically that shade Menaz. Whoops. And it's on the floor now, but I just think it's so different. It's so unique. It is beautiful. Like I said, this is probably one of the best lengthening mascaras I have ever used. I'm gonna play with it a little bit more on layering it with a more volumizing mascara because the volume of my lashes isn't the best right now. And the glosses, I think that they're incredible. They last a nice amount of time, obviously not all day. I will throw this one on my mouth really quick just so you guys could see the color. It's like the prettiest nude. It's a very sexy nude. It's a little bit darker than Gressa Bear, if you can't quite pull that shade off, and it's in that vein. I also want to give a big shout out to the primer. I am going to pull this out because how well my foundation lasted is incredible, and I think that really does have something to do with it. But that is it, you guys. All about the Sappho New Paradigm collection. Big thank you to NUCIYA Beauty for sending these over for me to try. I will have a little giveaway in the description box down below as well as a coupon code. So check that out if you want to shop them. I love NUCIYA. They have some great options. I did also do a one brand Lily Lolo tutorial for them and one other video, I think, but I'll link it down below if you guys would like. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please do let me know in that description box down below and in the comment section. I always say the description box. Have you guys noticed that? Anyways, thank you so much for keeping up with me today. I really hope it gave you a good feel for the line. I am like smitten. Don't forget that you can follow me on Instagram at Green Bunny Video if you would like, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.